new #1 morning show in Northwest Indiana. News, sports, education, and entertainment. Wake Up GI with Jeffrey Smith. Brought to you by the Geary Community Schools Corporation.
All right, everybody, we're back. Once again, it's a beautiful Tuesday. It is about 15 minutes after the hour. It's also the 9th of October, 2025, and this is Wake Up GI with Jeffrey Smith. We're continuing our wonderful Thursday morning from one wonderful woman to the next. We have a young lady in studio right now who's an entrepreneur. I had the pleasure of talking with her quite briefly before we're going to get an opportunity to meet her together on the air. But she is a young lady that is running multiple businesses here in Northwest Indiana. So I'm all in on this. If you know what this show's about, you know that I absolutely love these kind of conversations. So let's get ready to meet our wonderful guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, young lady.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me on today. My name is Amanda Peters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And first of all, tell us a little bit about your businesses. Then we'll find out a little bit about you.
Absolutely.
Well, about where you know, a little bit of your background, things like that. But first, your businesses.
Okay, very good. So I am the proud owner of Lasik Home Healthcare.
Yeah. And
also Healing Hands at Home Care.
Wow, that's kind of interesting. And so, you know, full disclosure, as somebody that, you know, a while ago, not too long ago, it's still fresh in my mind, but I had the task of taking care of my mom, of a parent. I'm an only child. It was something I was absolutely foreign to. And I always like to let people know that, you know, it's when it pops up on you, it can be overwhelming. But I was very fortunate to have people direct me to people like yourself.
Absolutely.
And it really made all the difference in the world. And every day I sleep a little better because I was able to do this for my mom. My mom, a very strong and independent person, but I did have people in my life who turned me on to people in your field, and it helped my mom be very comfortable and have dignity all the way throughout the end of her life. And so I'm always going to be open to people who are in your profession, which I actually consider God's work. I just wanted to disclose that because I really do appreciate what you do.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about you, okay? Were you born? Are you native to Northwest Indiana? Or how'd you end up in our neck of the woods and starting businesses and such?
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Yes, I am a Geary native.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Born and raised on 15th Avenue, West Side, graduate, 98.
Okay, all right. I knew there was some cat here, but yeah, that's okay. Went to Roosevelt. I know we don't exist anymore, but that's okay.
The belt doesn't melt. Is that what they say?
That's exactly what. Don't ask her. Ask me. No,
I have two parents from Belt, so I know.
All right. There you go. So you grew up here, graduated from West Side. You go off to school, or did you go straight into business? How'd that work?
No, went off to school. Relocated to Evanston, Illinois.
Oh, Northwestern town.
Yes, for church ministry there.
Nice.
And then began to start the businesses in Illinois.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And so I went back to, so I am a nurse by trade.
Okay.
And then
that's crazy. You and Pastor Guns.
Right? I know. Crossing paths. So we'll definitely meet again.
Yeah. And
then it was just God. He brought me back. He gave me the vision, told me, that there was a need.
Now, you want to know something, and I've always kind of stated, and the audience knows it, is that ever since the pandemic, one of the more consistent things that has ever happened on this show, and this show is notoriously inconsistent. You can't count on anything on this show. But the one thing that you can count on is that I've had some wonderful guests that have, and I always like to start off and say COVID was bad. But having said that, I've had some amazing people, now including yourself, who have made lemonade out of lemons. You know what I mean? COVID happened, the world shut down. They had to look across the kitchen table at their significant other, or maybe in the mirror at themselves, and they simply said, you know what? I can do better. I'm not going to go back to doing things the same way. This is the opportunity I've been waiting for. In certain instances, this is the sign that I've been waiting for. Yes. I'm going to go out here and do it. I'm going to bet on myself the next half of my life after this. And so you appear to be one of these people.
Well, and that, and also it was what God told me to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was answering his call.
You were answering his call.
Yes.
And so how do you go into, after COVID, you're slowing down, during COVID, while you're at home, do you start to formulate the idea of putting these businesses together, or did it kind of happen from somebody intervening, or maybe you meet somebody? How did that happen?
So I did it pre-COVID, and then it had to close down, and then that's when God told me it was time for me to grow my baby.
Grow your baby.
So it was a dream.
Yeah.
And so then the Lord, just being in obedience.
Yeah.
He had me to look up. I thought I was going to have to restart the whole business from the ground up.
Right.
But the Lord told me that I would be able to purchase an agency.
Okay.
And so then
because you were home healthcare prior to COVID, or what business did you have prior? I mean,
I specialize in wound care, so I was a wound care nurse.
Let me tell you what. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I keep interrupting you, but this is obviously something very close to, because my mom, due to her arthritis, had her feet, some of her toes and one part of her foot amputated.
Okay.
And so one of the things, and this was way before she got sick and Alzheimer's and things, but one of the people that I dealt with on a regular basis was her wound care doctor and nurse. And so yes. I absolutely appreciate wound care. So go ahead, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in that, I would see my patients on a regular basis, how it all started, and I work closely with the wound care doctor, as you stated. Yeah. And I would heal my patients where his healing hands came into place. Because that is a gift.
Oh, well.
And so some of my patients would go home, and then they would be healed up.
Yeah.
And they would end up coming back because there were no proper care in their home.
Yeah.
And so
no follow-up care at all.
Right. No. Because of where they live.
Yeah.
And so there were underserved communities that had not been reached by really good healthcare workers in the home.
Yeah.
And so that's where I became the answer for that.
Yeah. You kind of filled that void.
Yes.
Now, when I would assume that once you started doing it, it became very overwhelming because there was so much of a need. So at what point did you have to put your business hat on and say, not only do I have to kind of get methodical about this, I might have to start employing people to help out with this demand, because I can tell you, once again, there's a need for what you were doing out there. So when did you kind of start to say, I'm about to start having to bring people in on this?
Yes. So that's when I just, again, was obedient, and I came in and God showed me the business to go into.
Yeah.
And the owner told me that God sent me there.
Yeah.
And it has just been God since then.
It's been a blessing. So you go and you acquire an existing business.
Absolutely.
And then after that, you just start hitting the ground running.
And we're learning as we go.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
We're constantly in a state of learning.
Yes.
And so, at this point, because you were telling me you kind of own multiple businesses, so what is your strategy? And so as you start to kind of manifest and start to do this, what becomes your plan? How are you going to go about this? Are you just going to stay in those underserved communities, or is this something at this point in time you're like, you know what, we're going to just go ahead and go region wide and play this thing big?
Well, that's why I'm here.
Okay, there you go. I got you. I understand that. You're welcome.
Because we're meeting a need here, but then there's also a need elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to meet the need for everyone.
Now, let me ask you this, all right, a little bit of the industry stuff, because, there are people listening to this morning who probably have needed wound care, or maybe will need it in the future and have not really had that diagnosed or don't know it yet. But the one thing that I remember when my mom had to go through this is you start worrying about possibly insurance problems and navigating through insurance. And so if you don't mind, kind of share how that works and how you make it easy, or how that fits in.
Yes, so that is something that we also specialize in. So we at Lasik and at Healing Hands are contracted with CMS Medicare.
Okay.
We are also certified with Medicaid for the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
And now in the state of Indiana, you also have what's called pathways.
Right.
Where you have Anthem, Humana, and United Healthcare.
Yeah.
And so we are contracted with all three of those MCEs as well. So we have become versed in those insurances and are able to help in our community to let the loved ones know what is covered and what is not covered.
Yeah.
And so as we know, the government is changing with these Medicare and Medicaid guidelines. And you have people calling all the time to get you to switch. Yeah. So we are advocates for our patients to let them know listen, stay with us. We can walk you through. And actually, that's where we'll be discussing coming up on this Tuesday, where we're educating the community on what services are provided and covered under their insurance carriers.
So let's talk about Tuesday right now, because you are having or hosting an event in which is going to be very informational and things like that. So let's go ahead and get into that. Tell me a little bit about this.
Yes, so exciting. So this coming Tuesday, October the 14th, we will be hosting and Get to Know Us event at the Dean and Barbara White Center in Maryville. Yes, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. where we'll have several vendors throughout the area and insurance vendors as well will be coming, so that way we can educate our community.
Right.
Open enrollment is coming.
Yes. And
we want to make sure that you and your loved one make the best choices on insurances.
Now, when you talk about vendors, you know, another thing when I think about wound care and things like that, I think about transportation. Medical transportation, because unfortunately, once again, it just comes to my mind. I think about my mom, but I also think about some of the people that I've met or I've seen in waiting rooms or in environments in which my mom was a part of. And a lot of times transportation is an issue. My mom's case, this was her feet. So driving and things like that at certain times got out of the question. And it becomes a pivotal factor in order to get a person connected to the care. So how does that fit in? Or will there be informational or vendors at the event Tuesday that can maybe help with that? Because they're probably, that's the problem, getting people to those.
That's what we're trying to bring everyone in one center location to get those questions answered. And to be the middle, if we have to be the connection to there, we work with other agencies and other companies as well and partner with them, so that way we can make sure that we get those needs met.
Absolutely. And so give me a little bit of your background and what got you into medicine. As we said, you grew up here, you're a West Side graduate, you go off to school. Where did you go to college, by the way?
Indiana State.
Okay, God bless. Nice. I stayed, of course. So you go there, do you major in health at that point?
I did not.
What'd you major in?
Isn't that crazy? So I majored in business administration,
of course you did.
Pre-law. So I wanted to be a corporate attorney. Right? Now, totally opposite.
Listen, we'll talk later. There's no more opposite than what's going on right here. But no, so you go and at some point, obviously, the medical bug gets you.
Yes. And then once I went into medical, I just love helping people.
Did this happen in college or when you got out?
So it was in between.
Okay.
Yes. And so it kind of became, I needed to get some things done. And so it's just a midlife change, and went into the medical field.
Did you go in as a nurse, as a CNA?
No, I went in as a housekeeper. Yes, because I was still in school. And then I would just go in, and I love to help everyone.
Really?
Yes.
You know what? God bless you, because it's not for everybody.
No.
You have to have
compassion.
You got to have compassion, and you have to have temperament.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes you catch people that are on not their best days and things like that, and you have to not take it personally and still provide a very warm and beautiful face to smile at them and things like that. And it's not, everybody's not built for that.
No.
And so as you put together your business, I would assume that becomes part of your mantra when looking for employees. So let's talk quickly about that. So we're going back to the point where you've gone out here, you're acquiring new businesses, you're meeting a need, and now we're talking about expanding. So now you got to go out here and find folk to kind of carry on and represent you. What was that like?
Absolutely. It can be challenging. But you always want to pray and ask God that those that are supposed to come, which are your destiny helpers, will become and be put in place.
Have you learned anything, though, about yourself, right? Because it's always cool to think about it in theory, right? Because when, you're like, well, I'm going to hire these people and I want this kind of person and things like that. But then once you're invested, which is it's your business, it's things like that, you've got a reputation now that you've got to uphold, you've got a way you want to do things, and you want to convince the people that you're going to end up employing to follow that mantra. And sometimes, everybody's not built for that. Some people don't fit. They might be good people personally, no disrespect to them, they just might not fit in this situation. So when did you learn about kind of moving through that kind of area?
Constantly.
It's an ongoing process.
It's ongoing. But I believe that God put me here, and that it's no mistake of it.
Yeah.
So those that come, I have discernment.
Yeah. I like I think that's
I rather quality over quantity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the proper answer. And so, as you kind of do this business, and as you said, as you grow and as you employ people, do you also find yourself in a situation where maybe you want to start training? Because you're in a very unique position right now. You're a woman, you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, and I'm assuming that you're going to come across people, especially some of the younger people who are getting into work, who are very enamored about what you do. And
yes,
they want to be there for a minute, and they want to soak up everything you have to offer, and maybe one day go out here and do something like what you're doing. So do you find yourself as being a mentor as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One thing that I attempt and try to do is make sure that don't let anyone just stay here. Let's all grow.
Grow.
Right? And so that's why we have the training center.
Yeah.
So we can bring anyone's loved one in and train them. Because
like
you can start here and you can grow. So we do have the home health aid training class that we offer. And then from there, they can go on to be a CNA. And then I encourage my staff.
Right.
I have my scheduler now that I encourage her. She actually worked with me when I was in Chicago.
Yeah.
She came and worked with me here because she believed in what my vision was. And so now, not only was she my CNA, but now she's my scheduler for my aides. And then she also is now in nursing school herself. So I'm so proud. So these are the types of stories that I want to see from my staff. I encourage them to go to school, get training, because let's be the answer and we can all grow.
You want to know something was cool about what you just said and just talking with you and learn a little bit about yourself is because you understand that. Because when I was just asking you earlier about your origin in healthcare, you talked about, I started off as a housekeeper. And so for anybody that is coming to work for you, they have to appreciate the fact that this isn't some kind of, lily white, or you were handed this or inherited, or you just kind of walked into the, you had money and you bought an existing business. You absolutely appreciate every aspect of taking care of somebody. You know what it's like to get into that bed and to turn over sheets and to be there. But you also appreciate the bigger picture of serving the client. And I think people who start to work for employers who understand that usually respond better, I find.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so because they know that, as Miss Chelsea and I had spoken, I have boots on the ground.
Yeah.
So I wear a uniform every day.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
So you
every
live
day.
it. You absolutely live it.
Yes.
So tell me, okay, so you got a couple of businesses, and so give me the logistics of the business, because I want the community and the listening audience to not only know where you are, but to understand the full range of services that you offer. So
absolutely.
If you don't mind, tell us, let's start off with Helping Hands. Tell us about that.
Okay, so at Healing Hands, no worries at all. So at Healing Hands, it is our attendant care homemaker services where we bill the Indiana waiver and Medicaid for those services.
Okay.
And so there we have light housekeeping. We have we're able to accompany the patient to maybe a doctor's appointment, go do grocery shopping, and then just be a companion. Okay,
right. So this service is for exactly somebody like me, or I have a friend who, one of my coworker friends who is going through this with his dad. And so if you still want to take care of that loved one, but you have a busy schedule, you work, your wife works, and you still want your loved one to be active and to meet those appointments and still, be tidy and clean around the house, this is that.
That is Healing Hands is it.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we allow the families to understand how to get those services. So we'll guide them through who to call, who to contact, how to get on the list, how to obtain the waiver. And then to point them in the right direction and say, come see us when you got it.
I like that.
Right?
So what do you do as far as the dietary? Once again, are these people in your network? Say I have a loved one who I need all the services that you just mentioned, but I also need them during their meals. Let's say in my situation, I just needed breakfast and lunch for my mom. I was home for the dinners, but I needed her dietary restrictions met. And so do you all, once again, in your network that you put together, do you have vendors or people that can come in and help with that, or do you do it?
No. So we we are able to be there during the meal times,
Nice.
and you let us know what time you want us there.
Right.
Because we're there to serve you.
Yes.
And then we also, actually, one of our vendors on Tuesday will be Meals on Wheels.
See, there you go.
Yes.
That's one of our
Yes.
sponsors here.
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Jennifer Okamura
Yes.
and Meals on Wheels. So
They will be there Tuesday.
Yeah.
So they can deliver the meals, or we can make the meals for your loved one.
Yeah. I like it. Full
Yes.
service.
Yes.
Absolutely. So now let's tell me about the other one. What's the name
So we
of it?
have Lasik Home Health Care.
Lasik Home Health Care.
Yes.
Now, what's the difference between
Okay.
both of these?
So one is skilled.
Okay.
And so when I say skilled, I am indicating that they need a nurse
Right.
and possible therapy
Yeah.
in the home.
Yeah.
And a certified home health aide.
Okay.
So with those services, we are able to bill.
This is LASIK.
Yes.
Okay.
We are able to bill Medicare and Medicaid for
Right.
that.
Right.
And so, if for instance, in your mom, as you were saying,
Yeah.
had wound care, that's a skilled service.
It is. Absolutely.
So you would have a nurse to come in, the doctor to come in, and then also therapy if needed, and then a certified home health aide to assist with her ADLs during the day. So,
Okay. So this, like you said, physical therapy and things like that. So I would assume that this is more in conjunction with a hospital or a doctor's
Right,
care.
so we
Yeah.
have to have orders for those
Yeah,
services.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So we'll get a referral from your doctor. So you can just call us and say, hey, Amanda, I'm looking to service like my dad and my mom.
Right.
And I just want to know, just give us your mom's information, your mom's doctor, and we'll do the rest. We'll
Wow.
contact them. We'll get everything set up.
I'm sitting here and I'm just amazed because it's very detailed. You know what I mean? And for you to be able to operate both of those, tell me. I'm sorry, I got to know the secret. I know I'm not supposed to ask how the sausage is made.
Okay.
But I want to know how the sausage is made. I mean, how do you operate both of these? Do they work in tandem with each other? I mean, obviously they are distinct and different type of entities, even though they are all healthcare. But and you just kind of explain that. But as far as just you managing this, let's just say you get a week in which you really are booked and you're being utilized on both fronts. How you going to go out here and have your time for yourself?
God gives me strategy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got a family?
I do.
Okay.
I have 2 lovely boys.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And so I assume, so now you're a mom and you're out here trying to do this. Do you ever get time to take for you?
I sure do.
Yeah, spa days and things like that.
Yes. You have to schedule it.
Yeah, you got to schedule it. But I once again, I definitely really appreciate what you're doing. Tell us once more about the event at the Dean and Barbara White, because that's coming up. We want to make sure people get all the information. So once again, the logistics on that.
And one last thing,
Please.
I failed to mention the group homes.
Don't you forget the group homes.
So we have adult family care homes.
Yeah.
In Gary.
You have group homes?
Yes.
Tell us about the group homes. I mean, come on.
So that is our new venture. We are certified with the state of Indiana as well.
Yeah.
Under Healing Hands at Home Care.
Yeah.
So say for instance, if you're a loved one or you know someone that needs a room.
Absolutely.
Right? We offer the space for them and 24-hour care, 3 meals a day and a snack, activities, and we provide those needs for that patient within the home. We also allow for the nurse to come in, therapy to come in, into the comfort of the group home.
Now, where is this located, the home?
So we have 2.
Yeah.
One in Gary and one in Maryville.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Now, I want to ask you this. Is this just for medical patients, or if there's somebody in your house, you just want them out? And you can,
come on.
It was worth asking. You never know who's out there listening this morning. No, but seriously. So anyway, so how does that work? Is this something that would have to go through a hotel, or can they deal directly with you and become a client?
They can do both.
Okay.
So we take insurance.
Yeah.
Right. From the carriers that I mentioned.
Right.
And then we also do private pay.
So you can kind of put this together, if you navigate it right, as a package where you can get a loved one who might be coming out of the hospital and not quite ready, needs a little bit of rehab, might have to get some care all that.
That's right. You got it.
Look at me.
Yeah,
I can figure things out. I'm like a toddler. But anyway, I mean, this is kind of awesome. So as I said, let's go back to Tuesday because I want to make sure we get that information out.
Absolutely.
Give us the information and logistics again.
Sure. So we are going to be at the Dean and Barbara White Center this coming Tuesday.
Yes.
October the 14th.
Yeah.
From 11 to 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And then we have our vendors coming. We're going to have Anthem. We're going to have BMO Bank.
Wow.
We're going to have Delicious Designs. We're going to have Meals on Wheels. We're going to have Notre Dame Federal Credit Union,
Yeah.
Oak Street Health, T-Mobile, Walgreens is going to be there providing flu, pneumonia, and COVID shots.
Yeah.
And guess what? Everything is free. We're going to have bingo, food, DJ, prizes.
Look at you.
Yes.
I'm excited about that. I'm going to have to come up there. I need to talk to BMO Harris and pay my T-Mobile bill.
Well, come on then. You can make it a one-stop shop.
No, but this is
11 to 2.
11 to 2.
Yes.
And once again, the Dean and Barbara White Center right off Broadway. I usually have the
6600 Broadway.
6600
Yes.
Broadway. That's why you make the big bucks. But no. So this is going to be absolutely amazing, my friend. I really
Yes.
do. I think what you're doing is serious business. I love, how you can kind of bundle you together a little bit if you want to. But we'll talk a little bit about that later.
Okay,
but yeah, this is absolutely cool. It really
Thank
is.
you.
Congratulations on your business. But
Thank
more
you.
importantly, thank you for being in Northwest Indiana. Because I can tell you, obviously not just Gary, but I'm talking about throughout the region. And I'm saying this from personal stuff. I'm not just saying it because you're here. There are people that need this service.
Yes.
And one of the hard things about it sometimes when you're in it is finding out where to start, to navigate. Sometimes, God bless them, the hospitals and the people that you might ask at the hospitals don't always have all the information at their disposal. So it might seem like they're withholding or they don't know. The point is it's just a lot going on. And so when you get out here as an owner, as a healthcare provider and things like that in the community, I think it really makes it easy for a lot of people because that's what we want. We want to find out how to find you. And, when you have a familiar and a smiling face and a warm person, that absolutely makes a difference. Once again, personal experience.
Thank you.
So I want to thank
so
you for
much.
coming on the show, sharing this.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Such
keep
a
up with us.
pleasure.
Let us know. I want to see this thing grow.
Will do. Will do.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gents, we're going to get ready to